this could be. So this is brand new, this whole Skool community. I just launched it Saturday and, just offering to so many people what to do with their businesses to get prospects and leads so they can grow their business. But the issue that I was facing is my Facebook community um, is is great, but nobody sees anything in there. Many of you might be in there, and there might be, there might not be any posts that you actually see. So I am very frustrated with that. So I was thinking for many years, like, what do I do with this? Because, you put out really great content. Even my clients, the other day we were in Facebook and I looked them all up. I'm like, you're in that group and you're in that group and you're in that group. Have you ever known that this was here? And they're like, we never even knew we were in the group on Facebook. So I'm like, I think we need another solution. So this is a way better solution in my opinion. And the community here is going to be great. Invite people in because I will tell you that this community probably will not be free in the long run, but everybody who's in now is going to be grandmothered in. So, if you've got people you want to come in or whatever, like I'm launching this. I'm like, I want it to be great, but because of the value of the training we're going to be giving, it will probably turn into a monthly membership for new people that would come in. I don't know when that'll be. If that'll be 3 months, 6 months, you know, I don't know. But I do know we've got some exciting things. We might introduce doing some challenges as well. We might, I don't know, we got a lot on the table to talk about, because this is, I mean, in just a few days, we've got this group over 200 people. And I just got to get my Facebook group over here. How many of you are in other schools? Like you've been in other school communities? Patty, yes. Um, Anybody else been in? Melody, hi Melody. I know Melody a very, very long time. I know where is she at? I know Ruth very well. So yes, the school platform, I love it. I used to have a platform called Smart Member about 10 years ago, and it was similar to this without the social part of it, the commenting, and I absolutely loved it. And then the owner of it decided not to keep supporting it and it kind of crumbled apart, but it was wonderful. And this has got that similar vibe. So I would just say enjoy, get the training. There's some training that will be unlocked as you guys progress through the materials. Um, my all the I got a whole bunch of staff in here to help answer questions, and then I will of course answer questions as well. So it's gonna be super cool. If you have any topics that you would like to see or things you're really struggling with, drop them in the chat, or you can send them to me through the DM in the school because I've got these things planned. We're gonna do. Ooh, let me show you what's going on right now I'll show you what's coming up. Oopsie. I'm still getting used to these buttons where they are. On There's another one. I'm going to go over the different types of ads next week. So when you go in the ads manager and you're like, what are all these things? I'm going to do that and what they're used for. Some are really great to use when you first start. Some are better for later. Some do different purposes for, whatever your agenda is. And then the 22nd, I don't have it on the calendar yet, but my friend Jen Ashby is going to come in and she's going to talk about basics of branding. So she's going to do that on the 22nd, and I haven't laid out yet on the 29th. Ugh, I got hair in my mouth. She's going to help. She's incredible. She's the one that is responsible for my new like I had these colors in the new, before, but she's like, girl, we got to fix your fonts. We got to fix all this stuff. And I'm like, I don't care. My socks don't even match, Jen. She's like, Jen, and she just, I said, well, you need to come and talk to my people, So she's going to be on that the 22nd. Um, and then I got to figure out what the 29th. But like I said, if you have any topics, I'm going to look there in a second. I saw some people dropped in the chat. So, and then make sure you're going through these lessons. There's some stuff that down here it's going to be unlocked as you go. And I've got some other things. I think these recordings are going to be in here. So if you did ask to record this, I will probably deny it. Don't take it personally, but I'm going to have them in here as a thing that people have to work to get in order to watch. So I want to make sure that, um, you know, I don't know what I'm going to do with them in the future. So that's why I denied that. But don't take it personally. They're going to be available. I just have to figure out what I am doing because we're just getting this party down the road. Instagram and TikTok ads. I'm going to take these notes real quick here. Well, so for those of you that just dropped in, I just asked the group if there was anything that you want to see in the future on these Thursdays. It's Wednesday. Oh my gosh. Some of what I'm going to talk about today is going to be helpful for Instagram ads. So, yes. Yes, Marie, Skool here is a no-cost community for everybody. You are working with me as a private client. So my likes to leads program, my private clients, that's all separate and different. But my clients, I told my clients, I'm like, you're more than welcome to come in here because sometimes I say things that are different. And you might hear something, when I would learn and I was part of different courses or mentors, I would listen to anything that they would do. Like I'm in mentorship with other people learning like the psychology of the way the earth spins, aka copywriting. And I go and I watch them on YouTube, even on public interviews, because I want to hear that one thing that you might hear. You could hear like so many things, stories and threads. Let me break this down. You can hear the I will tell you, I'm not even on threads, Susie. And I'm not on TikTok. But I will tell you, marketing is marketing. And that's just the way it is. Marketing is marketing. So if you understand marketing, it'll go to any platform. And that's how I feel. When I work with my clients or I work with you guys and teach you stuff, I want to give you the fundamentals of real marketing. What makes somebody click? What makes somebody want to come? Like today, what made you want to show up? Think about that. That's what we have to offer to people in order to get them in our community. And Facebook is, yes, 100%, Carol. You can invite people to join. Like I mentioned, some of you weren't here.
Perfect.
Yes, 100%.
I just want to make sure.
Yeah, for sure. And like I said, right now this community is not going to have any tuition to it, but there will be, I imagine, in the future. And that could be 3 months, 6 months. I don't even know yet. I'm kind of living my way through this. One thing that's important in business is to sometimes you just get it done without thinking too much. And that's what you got to do. But going back to what I was saying is that, when I'm learning and there's something that I want to master and get good at, I listen to that person everywhere I can, whether I'm working one-on-one with them in a private consult, or I'm in a course with them, or I am listening to them on YouTube talk as an interview on a podcast. I want to glean and learn because there might be one thing that person says that I've heard 100 times, but that day I heard it different and it clicked in my brain. And then I can absorb it in there, if you know what I'm saying, So that is, really, I think, an important uh, way to look at when you're learning, is like showing up to get the nuggets. That's what I like to say. Show up to get the nuggets. And that can transform everything that you do. I look at what people I perceive as successful. I look at what they are doing as well as how they're teaching and what they're saying in the words. And so that's why I thought it was important to start this. And like I said, there's no cost for it right now, but the whole goal in the future is I want to build a really big tribe on this platform. And I love the fact I can see all of you and you're seeing my stuff. And, I'll be dropping in more training in here as the time goes on. The calendar is going to be my goal is every Wednesday at 10 a.m. Central. The community is here. I mean, we got 117 comments already going on that. I love this. I can send an email to you every 3 days. Like, it's just great. Like, I just love it. I'm just so happy. I feel like I finally am going back to what I did like 10 years ago. My history is, I've been an entrepreneur forever. And since I was born, I'm pretty sure, because my grandmother was an antique dealer. And I had that role model. My grandmother was a business owner, and I did antique shows with my mom back when I was a teenager. And I'll tell you, there's nothing more exciting than a teenager getting up at 4 a.m. to go do the antique show on a Sunday morning. So like I'd be like this. I'd probably look like that till noon, but I was doing that, with my mom when I was a teenager, doing vendor events. I mean, basically an antique show was a vendor event. And I had that role model, and my mom was a business owner. And, I always had that itch. I did not fit in corporate really well. And I started my first business officially. My dad incorporated my first company. I still use that corporation in 1994. And that company did many things. It did horse, and I flew to England and had horse equipment made for me, special to sell. So that was I was 21 when I did that. And then we did horse antiques and horse blanket repair. They wear little blankets, and so we did tack repair. And then it morphed into this whole world I was introduced to in 2001. I was introduced to network marketing. And so I've done a lot, no matter what your business is, like I got a lot that I've done. And so, like I said, good marketing is good marketing, but I want to give you all a little bit of a background so that like, who the hell is this person I'm listening to? Is she worth listening to? And I've built it fast and I've built it slow. And I'm going to tell you one thing. I got hairs in my eyes and my stuff. Uh, that, there's learnings in all of it. But, I worked in corporate. I graduated college and all that jazz and blah, whatever. I made good money, but I hated it with a passion. And so I asked the greater universe to bring me something that I would love. And lo and behold, a few months later, I was introduced to network marketing. And I said, holy shit, this is the way out. This is the way out of all this corporate stuff. So within 6 months, of starting to build network marketing, I was able to quit my job, and I did that for many, many years. I still earn residually from the company that I built, and I got that company to about $2.5 million a year in sales, residual six-figure earning. So that was a big, big thing. And then I started coaching people on doing ads because it just evolves, right? I started coaching in Facebook ads for people who, specifically in the network marketing and direct sales space. But now my stuff is getting seen by a lot of people, and I get small businesses that are, that have doors and windows. So like physical location businesses, because I have a passion for that as well. and I've done a lot of things. And so a friend of, well, he was a coach and now he's a great friend. About 10, not quite 10 years ago, 9 years ago, he said, Jen, you need to teach these Facebook ads to people in your industry because they don't know how to do them. And Melody, who's here, took my course forever ago. Like she was doing Google and she was banging it up on Google, and then Google made some changes, and then she was left out in the cold in the storm and couldn't build her business online anymore that way. And then she learned Facebook ads. And she's had some challenges with her health and stuff in the recent years, but here she is. She's still learning. And she was one of my first students probably in 2016 or 17, I would imagine. But one thing is with Facebook and all this marketing, if you've been on social media for more than a minute, this thing changes like lightning, right? And you've got to stay current with it. Like, I don't know if you guys saw it. I posted it in the Skool Community yesterday where, ooh, there's a couple more people in the reading room. Sorry, people. So sorry. I got so engrossed in telling my story. So for those of you that just got here, I apologize. I'm just telling my story. But I posted in this community yesterday. I love to see there's horse people in here. It makes me excited. Here, this breaking Zuckerberg update. So I just gotta warn all of you just ahead of time. Sometimes I say what comes out of my mouth is there's a direct link and there's no filter. And you love it or you don't. Well, I'm a horse person, and with horses that they often get to an age where their testicles drop. When they're babies, they're born, their testicles are up. Well, then they get to a maturity age and their testicles dropped. They drop, and then we can geld them and take them away and make them into good citizens. Well, somebody asked me what I thought of Zuckerberg's update yesterday, and I said, I think his balls have dropped. And I mean that truthfully
Agree.
with, right? I,
Yes.
I think truthfully, and I say that with endearingly. I say that with love because I believe, can you imagine being a young man and this thing going as big as it did? Like, truthfully. And I think that he lost his way of who he was in the mission, and then the politics were pulling him apart, and he got sucked into stuff. And I think that he has found his way back to his identity. His balls dropped. And I saw him in this video, and I put the link in here for you. It goes to his Facebook. Um, he I believe he's now surrounded himself with men that have strong opinions, and he's able to be strong now in his
Sorry.
opinion. You laughing? I know. So I supposedly Dana White is even going to be on his advisory board of Facebook, which is crazy interesting. But I looked at Zuck just away from what he was saying, and I felt like he's coming to his own. And that's what I feel. And I'm really happy for that. And I hope that continues no matter who is the president of the United States, and that he can really be his own identity and not get swallowed in the craziness that happened in the last 5 years. So, but I like what I see there. I like what he said, but words mean nothing, right? Until we see the action. I can tell you one thing that I do know about Facebook more than anything, that if there's going to be changes in the way that they've run trying to create safety on Facebook, there are going to be glitches. If there's one thing for sure, changes mean glitches. So be prepared for glitches. I'm just going to tell you, like, we have massive updates. Like I said, I've been teaching Facebook ads since what I don't even know. It was definitely not 19 because Facebook did. It was 2016 is when I started with the Facebook ads, and we've seen waves of glitches and waves of changes, and everything was the end of the world always, and it always wound up being better, truthfully. And one thing I know is when he says there's these big changes, there's going to be glitches. So be prepared for that. It's just normal how it is. And we are, I think it's exciting. So we'll see so we'll go back and watch that for sure. It's just a 5 minute thing, but I was really happy to see him so strong and so he didn't look like a deer in headlights anymore. Like, you know how normally you see him, he's like this. Like especially if he got pulled into Washington for hearing after hearing, and he'd be like,
He
now he
didn't look
actually
medicated.
he
He didn't
looked,
look plastic and medicated.
yes. Who agrees that he looked like an alien?
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, who does this guy look like an alien or what? So I think he looks amazing. His balls dropped, you guys. Just trust, you tell me on that post if you think that is the fact. So
No,
I'm proud of him. I'll just say I'm proud of him, that he's coming into his own. And so that's exciting. So I think that's going to be great. The one thing I will tell you though is with Facebook and all these other platforms is the more that um the more things that change, the more things change. I know it sounds so brilliant. I'm so brilliant here, but I'm so original with what I say. The more things change,
stubs.
it gets more competitive, which is great for people that know what to do. It weeds out the riffraff because most people go into the ads manager, they go into social media, and they post a little bit of stuff and they think they're going to be a millionaire. It's not how it works. It's just, I have built offline businesses and I've built online businesses. You're going to work hard doing any of them. There is no lottery ticket. And your income follows your personal growth in your skill. So if you don't like your income right now, that's a direct reflection of your personal growth and your skill. If you want to make more money, you invest into your personal growth and your skills. There's a direct line, you know, and of course, putting in the work, doing the work, like getting out there and talking to people and getting ads out and getting posts up and recording videos and all that. So it's super important to do all of those things, but you need to, you need to do them and keep going. So I want to talk about, I thought this would be a good thing to start with, what does Facebook really want? It changes and it's going to always change. The biggest competitor, does everybody know who's the biggest competitor for Facebook right now?
Uh,
X.
can't be, really?
No, no.
No?
No,
Marie got it. TikTok.
TikTok.
Uh,
Yeah, but aren't they closing TikTok as of the
we
19th?
can't decide.
You know, it's kind of like the wind blows.
Yeah.
Right. So that's personally why I am not on TikTok. I have an issue with it morally. Um, I love Instagram. I love YouTube. I love obviously Facebook, but TikTok is the greatest competitor with Facebook or Meta. Meta owns Instagram.
Meta. Yeah.
Meta owns Instagram. Meta owns Facebook. Meta owns Threads. Meta owns WhatsApp. You know what I mean? That family of products. And then, Google owns YouTube. And so you've got those two. I love YouTube. I think YouTube is fabulous. You can take your content and repurpose it and put it over there. And this information might wind up on YouTube or YouTube Shorts. I don't know. Like, I'm not sure what I'm going to do with all this, right? But yeah. So there is there's a lot of you know, oops, letting somebody in. There are always competitors nipping at your heels, and you got to stay good. You have to stay good. You have to learn constantly, invest in yourself, invest in your knowledge, your time, and you keep going with your business, and there's times that are great. There's times you're going to go backwards. Um, I will just tell you that. But that's why this community was put together. So I want to get into the topic at hand here is I want to talk about what does Facebook want? And Facebook wants
To send me money.
what Facebook wants is what the end user wants. And you got to remember the agenda of Facebook is to keep people on Facebook. That's the number one thing. So you think like Facebook is off, really rewarding certain types of posts and certain types of videos because it keeps people on the platform, which includes, of course, Instagram, right? And they're pushing the Threads thing. So I'm not sure how far Threads is going to go. I hear mixed reviews. I don't do that. I'm like, I'm a type of person that I would rather do a few things really well than everything crappy. So I'm an Instagram and a Facebook. My Instagram that I put for the follow backs for in this community, I just started it. So if you go there and you see like 5 people that I don't even know, I just started it. I have a my personal Instagram, my personal, and then I've got this new one for likes to leads. It's got no, come on, you sucker. Oh, I don't even know what's happening. What is going on? It must have logged me out. Oh, well, I'll figure that out later. But the new one, the Jen Springer L2L, is brand new. I did it last weekend because I want to create a whole businessy one. And then I do have Jen Springer Personal. If you see that, it's all just horses and food. So because I focus my energy on one platform because I want to be a master of one thing. And we've made millions of dollars on Facebook. So I'm good at the one thing. I don't chase shiny things. And that's one thing I'm saying to you because I feel it's really important to get really good at a few things, 2 to 3 things max. Don't chase the shiny rabbits down the hole every new second. Get really good at a few things. And do really good at a few things is going to make you more money than being a generalist. Okay. So Facebook is my thing. Like that is the core of everything. And I've got some podcasts out there and I got, I love podcasts. I think they're great. YouTube is great. But I just started my Instagram for my business last weekend. But it's if you notice though, the strategy that I'm doing is right there in your face. Follow me, I'll follow you. Come in. I mean, you know what I mean? Like you guys look at what I'm doing as well as what I'm saying. But Facebook always is going to want the type of content that's going to keep more people on Facebook. So I want to talk about AI with this because everybody's now using it, and AI is wonderful, and it's not. Because what's happening is now with AI, the number one thing that people really aren't seeing that's not as obvious. Does anybody have an idea of what is the AI really doing to social media? Anybody can drop it in the chat or open the mute. I stumped y'all. Okay, let's see.
Well, are you
Collecting
talking
data.
about what AI is doing for the verbiage that we could put into an ad, or what AI is doing for the pictures that we're seeing where, they can take pictures from the 1800s and have those people talk to you and stuff.
Well, it's all of it. And some of it, I don't know if we got Fred or Tina here, both of you.
I saw them both.
Yeah, they're both, I don't know if they're both here. They're collecting data. Definitely collecting data, but what the AI is doing, if on a macro level, it is flooding the internet with content. Massive, massive. You could write 30 posts in 5 minutes. So, you know what I mean? So like, the biggest question with AI is how are you going to stand out in this flood of media? All of you right now, there are 28 of you on here. You all could go get an app or chat GPT and say, give me 30 days of content on this and on that, write the posts, and all of you are now expert posting people. Just think there's millions and millions of people doing that. So how do we get standing out? That's really the thing. AI is helping a lot of people. It's great for, generating ideas. It's going to help you with, maybe some professional headshots that look like you're not a serial killer, and some images. I wouldn't use too many. I'm going to talk about this as we go down the road here, but it's helping the business owner, um, making marketing affordable. That's really what it's doing.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think that's super cool, but it comes with caveats. The biggest problem is going to be this. How are you going to stand out in the sea of sameness? And that's the greatest thing that's really, really happening. So okay, Tina's here. I was just curious which one on the Zoom was. So it's all great. There's all these tools, wonderful things, la, 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 but the number one thing is there's going to be massive, massive piles of media. Does anybody here feel more bombarded than they ever have in their life when you go on? There's just so much content and it all looks amazing and you can't follow it all, and I will invite you to find your key people and focus. Again, this is another reason why I'm pulling you off of Facebook into Skool. I want your brains to be more clear over here and get, you know what I mean? Like, I want you to be like, hold on, you guys. There's all this good stuff. And trust me, like I'm even on my ads, I study ads. I'll sit there, I'll be the one like, oh, there's another post. I want to see another ad. Because I'm reading the ads and I study the ads and I reverse engineer what they're doing with their strategies. And there's so much good stuff coming out, but how are you going to stand out from that? And AI is the force behind this massive flood of stuff. So tired of the AI voices. Yeah, Marie, like you can have, like, if you go to HeyGen and 11 Labs and you can have your own avatar done and it looks like you and sounds like you, it's like, holy, like, all of us, my clientele are typically a little more mature. So we've seen the evolution of dial-up to today. I mean, how many of you are a little weirded out? I know I am some days. I'm like, what? So let's talk about, how do you stand out? Like, what does the Facebook really want? By the way, Facebook does not really like all of this AI generated junk. I'm just going to tell you, like, good quality stuff, yes. I like the AI for editing. I like the AI for I like it for, helping the business owner, like I said, in the past, it would, for us to get a professional video done and have that prepared for like media and advertising, it would cost you $10,000, right? And now you can get an app for $90 a year and create your own videos and do the things, right? So I think it's the positive, but this other side is this flood. So let's talk about, like, how do you, stand out? I know, Catherine, you're so right. Like, you can't hardly tell the difference between real and AI. And that, on a macro level, Catherine, I'm glad you said that, because that is going to be creating a problem for your prospects, right? What is the problem going to be with your prospects, that if they can't tell the difference between AI and the real? Anybody want to pipe in on that? Trust. So you got to ask the question, how can you build trust with your prospects? So again, when you understand marketing, you'll know what to market with, right? Like, okay, what's the agenda of Facebook? They want to keep people on the platform. My prospects are getting flooded with this stuff. How do I stand out and how do I build trust? Okay. So that's at the macro level. Now let's get our hands in the dirt a little bit. Static posts, what people want is they want to see the real you on these static posts. Please don't do 30 days of junk from AI. You can take your drafts and have it, corrected and stuff like that using the AI, or maybe AI generates 30 posts, but you go back and you like make it yours, please. So we don't have Encyclopedia Britannica posts. That's what it's going to turn into. People want the real you, even on your professional social media. Even on your professional social media that you're prospecting on, you want to infuse the real you. So if on my new Instagram that I can't log into at the moment because I'm on this platform, I can't show you. But if you follow that, and the first post where you introduce yourself, the first post I made was my horse. And I put him on a little pedestal and I said, your images need to have balance. And he's like standing on a pedestal. So like the real you, which includes like your life stuff, like, having fun, showing you're a real person. Like what has your business afforded you the luxury of? Can't spell. Time, fun, family. You want to convey that to your prospects. I know there's realtors in this community. There is nothing more awesome than your brand new homeowner who will, of course, you might, depending on your business, you might have people sign a waiver if they work with you, like you might use their stuff in your marketing. But like a family, telling a story of a family that has not owned a home in 10 years and now you sold them this home, and you know what I mean? Like the real stuff on the static post. And static posts, I mean no video. Okay, no video. And don't make them super. I find the kind of the sweet spot is 200 to 500 words. It's just kind of like, nobody wants to read I'm going to get to this one here in a minute about why, but make them digestible enough. Okay. Make them easy to read. If you I always look at my posts. If you notice the way I write and the way I write my ads, because most of you probably seen my ads, that's why you're here. Oops, this is my wrong phone. Where's my other phone? Oh, I got two phones. That's why I couldn't log into that account. Boy, it's the early morning. It's still before noon. If you notice on my posts or my ads, the layout of things is critically important. You want to be able to, you want somebody to visually be pleased when they look at your stuff and not cram together. Okay. So static posts, this is super important here. Now the videos, this is the number one thing Facebook is rewarding. And it goes back to why. Why is Facebook rewarding these reels? Anybody want to drop in the chat why you think that is?
Reels is the number thing.
Yeah, why are reels number one thing? More engagement?
Yeah, because I think it involves showing who you really are too.
It does. People watch them. Yes, Deb, they do watch them. And they're addictive. Especially me, my cat videos. Boop, 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 boop. I love those cat videos. They're my favorite. That's why I'll say truth. Here's a confession. I resisted doing a public Instagram for so long because Instagram was my sacred safe place where I could watch cat videos all day long and not get business stuff. Honest truth. And so, yes, people watch them, including cat videos. But the reason, short to the point, but the reason is because it's competitive to TikTok. Facebook wants you to stay on Facebook and Instagram versus going to TikTok. They want you to do the scroll, what is it? Doom scrolling. You get hooked into those. Do you notice the psychology of it? Ooh, there's an ad. Huh, there's my own ad. The psychology of the videos is they once you watch one, then another one comes up. You get sucked in and you watch another one. All of a
Yes.
sudden, an hour's gone by. So reels are hot, hot, hot. Let me see.
Why does it keep saying this is?
I'm looking at Tina. I've actually found the opposite, Tina. I found that the sharing is actually it helps if you're sharing the right stuff. Maybe if I give you some of this info, it'll help your algorithm boost. So remember, this is it's competing. So it's competing with TikTok. That's why Facebook wants you to post this stuff. So the reels are just short, short videos. But the thing is, they've got to be high action, fun, high energy. You can use editors like CapCut, Video Leap, and honestly, the native editor in Instagram is fine.
Wait. What's native editor? Oh, Instagram.
Yeah, it's just the editor that's in
Okay.
Instagram. Yeah, it's fine. It's totally fine for reels. Because it's got the music in there and you can cut things and stuff like that. I mean, that's ultimately let me just I want to get you one piece of information. So your reels are 90 seconds long, up to 90 seconds, 30 to 93 to 90 seconds. You also want to do the format of the reel holding your phone like this, not this. And if you turn your phone this way to the front cameras, you get the dual or the triple cameras, you're going to get better resolution. I wish I had shown, I should have put this up. I recorded some test videos yesterday and I recorded them this way with the screen facing me and I turned it to the back cameras. You're a different person, just so you know, when you flip the camera around. The resolution is so much better, but you want 90 seconds, minute and a half. 90 seconds is the max. And you also want to do it vertical. And you want to do I think it was 4:1, 9:6, 9:16. And there was another one was like 4, I don't remember. I was looking at it last night. I couldn't remember what it was. Yeah, and it went to 90 seconds because TikTok did. So you want, reels can be like even a video like this. This video here is going to be about an hour and I'll be able to pull snippets out of this video and then make them into little reels. So if you're doing Zooms or you're doing conference things or whatever it is, you can pull snippies out of it and make reels and make shorts. So I'm going to talk about that. So remember with the reels is that this is the number one thing Facebook is rewarding. So, you want to, again, you got to remember in the macro picture of things, Facebook wants people to stay on Facebook. And when you do any of your content, remember this thing here. How are you going to stand out in people to get to know you? So these are the things that when you create content, that should be, again, the real you is the critical thing here. All right. So show your life, do some business stuff, mix it into your personal, make your personal business stuff. You will see a lot of stuff with me and my horses. I'm often waiting for something my horses are doing, and I'm like, I feel like recording a video, blah, 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 blah. And I'm sitting there, and I'll do it because I have time while I'm waiting somewhere. And I'm always wearing my barn clothes, as we call it. If you're not a horse person, we're in barn clothes all the time, and they're more expensive than real clothes typically. So, like, I weave that into my life, and notice that's what a lot of these influencers, they're all doing. They're showing their life and the real them. So you want to do that in your reels, but the reels are up to 90 seconds. Now, the short videos, these are 3 to 5 minutes. These are, there's going to be different types of people that are attracted to this. Typically, the individuals that are following you, loving your reels, and you might get a video. Everybody wants a reel to go viral. I would definitely make sure that your biz reels have a call to action so that people can get into your ecosystem. Okay. Because just think of reels as love them and leave them. They're like one night stands. Okay. There's no marriage happening. Think of it as quick fun. It's a quick dopamine hit. It's almost like a drug, but they're great to start warming up the audience, finding people, right? The 3 to 5 minute videos, they're going to get to know you more. Okay. But keep these to one topic. So talk about one thing. Don't do a video, especially if you're selling products and you're like, I'm going to talk about 10 products in 3 minutes. No, no. One topic per video, one concept per video. Again, you can use your phone for these things. You can record like in Zoom. I record in Zoom all the time. I've got another app that I use all the time called loom.com. You can record up to 5 minutes for free. So you can use Loom to record. Loom, Zoom, your phone to record. There's all different things.
I use Canva.
You can record in Canva. Yep, you can do Canva. There's a lot of, if you got any great tools you guys like, drop them in the chat. I'll add them to this. So there's no reason these days that you can't do this. Now, 15 years ago, we'd be like, what? Now we're like, we got all these cool things, right? So a 3 to 5 minute video, the most important thing is that it's well lit if you're doing you. That the sound is good. It's very important the sound is good. So you might get an external mic. Here's mine. Size does matter. I'm just kidding. I got a big one. This is a blue Yeti. I think it's a Yeti mic. But there's a lot, even a $12 mic, $11 microphone if you don't have a good mic sound on your computer, even on your phone, you can get an external mic. Your sound will be completely different. I'm also considering, I bought an external even video for Monty's computer, and because it was actually for me, but this camera on this computer is kind of crappy. So you might even play with an external camera if you're doing a lot of video on your computer. But just, make it aesthetically appealing, okay? Very important. Talk about one topic per video. These, I would suggest doing more of biz-orientated versus personal, unless you're telling your story. Like, I'm not going to talk about how to train horses in my business videos for 3 to 5 minutes. I might show that in a reel, because a reel is more of like the lifestyle, they're high action, they're fun, like a reel is like, woo, party. This is like, get to know you more. This is like going on a few first dates, right? Now a 5 minute plus video is where, excuse me, people really get to know you. Your most interested people are going to be here. So these are your overviews of your company. If you're in like MLM or direct sales type of thing, because they're typically more than 5 minutes. It's more in depth. The more attention you can hold with your prospects, leads, the more likely they are to buy and stay with you a long time. Think of this as you've gone on a few dates now, and now you're dating to see if this relationship is going to be long term. And that's these little longer videos. Somebody who watches a reel is not at the same interest level or quality necessarily of prospects as somebody who watches a 10-minute video. Okay. Because a 10-minute video, you've held their attention for 10 minutes. They've spent 10 minutes with you. In a world of dopamine hits, where 3 to 5 minute videos are even long, a 5 minute plus video is like a lifetime because everybody's addicted to the reels. You really have a higher level prospect of somebody who's spending more time with you. So the videos here are often, again, like Zooms and Looms and Canvas or PowerPoints. These are, videos that are going to be even about a specific topic. If it's not like an overview, like I know, like I said, I know I've got realtors here. It's like, it could be talking about, different types of loans, or it could be like, different, like if I was in Chicago and I'm like a realtor in Chicago, I could be doing a video about the different neighborhoods, right? I could be like, well, here's Chicago. Well, Chicago, no, Chicago's got all these different neighborhoods. And today I'm going to talk, for 10 minutes about the different neighborhoods. So like you're leveling up and holding their attention longer, which means they're going up the level of quality of prospect. So have fun with this, but also, you're going to hold their attention, something that would be interesting to your prospect. What does he or she need or want to help? What does he or she want that will help their life be better? What are they looking for? If they're looking to buy a house, they want to know a safe neighborhood. They want to know about the schools. They want to know about were there any drive-by shootings. They want to know about the restaurants. They want to know about, blah, 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 whatever. So like you got to sit down and think, what does my prospect want? And then you deliver that in topics. Okay. Now, images. Let's talk about images. Images are always going to be a test. You're going to have to take note as to what your audience responds to. My audience responds to pictures of me. It has evolved over time. It used to be where it was pictures of, this has changed over the last couple years. It used to be stock photos. It's not anymore. It's me. I feel like sometimes like a narcissist where I'm like always taking pictures of myself because that's what my prospects respond to in my ads and in my things. Just know your audience. So, like I said, it used to be stock images, women that were 30 years old, brunette. I knew who the audience wanted. They also wanted pictures of flowers or oceans. Well, that I still mix in those kind of images when I'm testing, but I also mix in pictures of myself. So when you're testing, mix pictures of yourself mix some stock images. When you're using this, now I'm going to say this with the AI images, go tread cautiously, because the generated AI images overall don't typically perform well in ads. But if you're using like an image of yourself and you're just having one made so that it looks like a professional headshot, I'm in the process of testing that right now. Just it's testing pretty damn good. But like a lot of times people will have these AI images created and they're not testing well. One thing with images that's important is to make sure that they are clear, right? No offense. I see some of your profile pictures, they need to change. You need to have clear. You can edit them, edit the structure in Canva or even, Facebook, Instagram editor
No.
for the photos works really well. So make sure they're clear and they're crisp. So we call that the structure. We want it to be well defined. With the images, they got to be well lit. Have well lit images. Make sure they're clean and not a lot of junk in the background. I normally have a painting behind me, and I recorded some videos yesterday that I took the painting off the wall because it was noisy in the background visually. Okay, so images are the same thing. When you look at your images, you want your images to be like very like
Yeah, but no.
clear subject. So let me look at yeah, art. Melody says her art. You own the art. You could test it in the ad. Put in your own Joni. When it comes to your stuff, because I got a couple questions about reels and images, test stuff with you in it and with you not in it. I find my audience loves my pictures, which is like, oh, because I actually have to like comb my hair and put makeup on. But like pictures of me. And there's times that I have pictures of me that I'm not wearing makeup sometimes. I will guarantee on these Wednesdays there will be a day that I show up with no makeup and I'm okay with that. I have no facial hair on my eyes. I mean, I do have hair, but I've got like I got the tattooed eyebrows and like 6 coats of mascara on my eyes right now because I'm very fair and you don't see any of my hair. But some days you just got to take that picture. But and the thing is, you can easily put any photo in an editor nowadays. You can remove the background, you can enhance the eyes, you can enhance the structure, play with the editors, but test images that are of you, test images that are stock, and that you've got to do it and then see what people's response is. Okay. And then the last thing I want to talk about was Facebook events. Facebook loves these events. Why? Because people come to Facebook to look at the event section. So if you've been on Facebook for more than 5 seconds, you've seen that area. Okay, I'm just gonna warn you right now. My Facebook is all horses. But if I go over here to the left side, I will find events. And if you go to your phone, you will see events everywhere. So people like Facebook loves these things because and it also gives you free press. So no matter what your business is, get some events posted on your Facebook page. And I would try to do something once a week. and you put it on your page under the events section, and then people will see it. It will help promote this for you. But people come in and they're like, my location, they'll even go to online events, online events, and that are happening today. And here we go. I can get some new tack from the tack shop. You know what I mean? So like there are this is all online stuff. So if you're doing an online, look at the Brown Bear Enrichment Facebook Live right now. It's happening. There's 24 people interested. So Facebook loves this. So do this in your page, put on the Facebook event, and have fun with these. They're very I think important. It's an important part of a way of your people getting to know you. Again, you got to ask the question when you create your content, how does how can we I got like a lot of noise in the background. Hold on a second. I have to make a mute right there because I heard there's a lot of background noise. So again, how can we show the real you, and how can we build trust? How are you going to stand out? Get these events on your Facebook page and host events. So if people love this, put on Facebook page, you can run ads to them. Facebook shows them organically. You also be consistent. I prefer to see them once a week. They can be online, they can be offline. So it could be something that's simple. It could be Q&A. It could be some type of overview. Like, this is sky's the limit for you. But go look at the events section in your Facebook and see what people are doing. It's very, very important. Even these, I've got this event on my Facebook page for Tuesday or oh my God, Wednesday. I don't know. Anybody else got a really bad case of the Mondays all day, every day this week? Like coming out of the holidays, like every day is Monday. Today is Wednesday. But my Wednesday events are on my Facebook page for the next 2 weeks. I'm running ads to them. And then I'm going to get the one up for the 18th and the one for the 29th. And they're going to be on the Facebook page, and how to get to the Skool Community is in there. And I'm running an ad to it. So, Facebook this year really wants you to be putting these events there because it makes people come back to Facebook to see what's going on. So, this is, ultimately when you create content, how are you going to stand out? How are you going to build trust? And what does Facebook ultimately want? Facebook wants people to stay on Facebook or stay on Instagram or use threads. And that's how we create our materials and our content. So, so we went a couple minutes over. I got to jump to my next appointment, but I want to see if there's anything. Claudia, if you're in MLM, should I post the opportunity meeting as an ad? You could, but you've got to be very careful with what you write. One thing I would recommend that everybody does is you go through the Facebook ads course. Like Facebook has an ads, like, let me see, ad policy course. You've got to go through that. Got a little frog there. I think it's called the Meta Blueprint. Let me see if I can find it here. Where is the privacy policies? Oh my God, this thing. Let me get this here. Support. You might need to search for it. There is a Facebook policy, like an ad policy course. I've got it in I make my clients do it. It might be in the free online. I've got a link to it, but it's buried in some stuff right now. But there is a compliance course that Meta has that you should take if you're going to start running ads, because you want to know. I can't find it right now. You have to just search for it like on Google, because Google, like when you put in, information on Google, it's Facebook ads policy course. You might need to go through here and find it. But all Meta stuff or Facebook stuff ranks right at the top. So especially if you're going to start running ads for network marketing or things like that, you need to know what words you can and can't use, because you'll get. And then you'll be watching in my classroom over in the school how to get your account back. There's actually a course over there because it's a big issue. You got to unlock it though. You got to unlock it. But well, I got to get going. This went a little longer than I wanted to. My goal will be anywhere from a half hour to an hour for these trainings on Wednesdays. But we had a great session, I think, here today. Get into the community. I hope you guys loved this. If you have any feedback or you loved it, or what's your golden nugget, take your golden nugget for today and drop it in the discussion over there in the in the school. I'd love to hear what your golden nugget was. What was your aha moment that you had today? So I'd love to know that. Drop it here in your community. That would make me so happy to know what you learned today, because it helps me create more content for you. The classroom, make sure you go through everything here. If you've not already scheduled your onboarding, quick start call, do that. The calendar here, like I said, the 22nd is going to be intro to branding. I don't know what's going to happen on the 29th, but it's going to be the same Zoom link every Wednesday. Invite people while this community is still free. And get your hands in here, enjoy, post your golden nugget, and I'll see all of you lovely people next Wednesday. And I'll see you in the community as well, because you'll actually see the stuff because we're not on Facebook. All right, everybody, have a lovely rest of your day. Take care. We'll see you.
Hi, I got a quick question.
Yeah, Anita.
I'm still at work. So I saw some of what you were discussing with us, and I think it was great, and I appreciate your time. But I wasn't able to see everything. So will this recording be made available within our group?
I believe I'm going to, this is what I believe. I'm going to put it in the classroom in its own thing, and it will be something that you'll be unlocked. I'm pretty sure. Or I might just leave it open. I don't know yet, but I can bet you it's going to go in here. In the in the classroom area.
Thank you. And I'll be scheduling my consultation today, because
Okay.
I just actually ran across your ad like the other day. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. We're gonna rock this out this year. I'm committed to, helping everybody get better. I mean, truthfully, and like I was saying earlier, even myself with my community and working with people for so long, I find that what's happening in the market is there's so much information out there, people don't even know what to do. And, I'm just going to say this, there's a lot of people out there that are giving business advice that don't have the experience, and they should not be giving business advice. And the most expensive business advice is bad advice. And I will just leave it at that.
All right. Thank you so much. Thank you. I got to get my class out of here. Thank you so much.
You go. I'll see you later. So I'm so glad you're all here, but I gotta go too. I gotta get to my next appointment, but I'm so thrilled all of you here. We'll see you all next week, and bye-bye, everybody.